everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm Chloe, Strategic Partnerships Manager at Admix. Before we start the session today, I would like to share a fun fact to me. That is, I still use a BlackBerry phone, and here's the evidence. So that's my phone, personal phone. You can see a logo here. And yes, it has a keyboard. I do get that question a lot. Sorry about my dirty screen. Hope you don't mind there. I remember every time I meet with a new developer at events, we would sit down, I would put my phone aside on the table, and usually within the first 30 seconds, they'll be like, hang on a minute. Sorry to interrupt you, but is that a BlackBerry phone? I get that reaction a lot. And they always tell me, oh, you are probably the only person in the whole world that still uses a BlackBerry phone. I hear that so many times, so that must be true. So on the professional side of me, I've been in the mobile advertising field for 8 years now. I started my journey at Opera Media Works, which was later rebranded to AdColony. My background's very performance and programmatic focused. I'm always working with gaming developers. So there might be some familiar faces in the audience here today. Here at Admix, I'm also working with gaming developers on their in-play monetization strategies. I personally have been in the in-play space for a year now. I've learned a lot from publishers. It's just such an exciting space. That's why I can't wait to share our insights, learnings, and findings with you in this session to show you why in-play is the next must-have ad format for hyper-casual studios like you. Before we talk more about in-play, let's talk about IDFA a little bit. It's just been a really hot topic in the past year. iOS 14.5 has rolled out around a month ago. With Apple's change in the use of IDFA, publishers are required to make adjustments for both their UA and monetization strategies. For me personally, we spent so many years to build how to operate in the mobile advertising world together as a whole industry, but now that's being turned upside down. There's so much uncertainty here. We're not certain about the impact, not certain about how long it's going to take for us to learn in the post-IDFA world. But it seems like there's one thing certain, and many people in the industry would probably agree on this one. That is revenue loss temporarily, caused by like lower eCPMs, lower fill rates, lower ad revenue per user, etc. So what kind of approach should we take here then? I have a quote from Katie Madding here. She's the CPO from Adjust. So in the post-IDFA world, we have to show more ads to users to compensate for the revenue loss. But from my perspective, it doesn't mean that we have to just increase the frequency of the existing monetization solutions, because we don't want to churn our users. We want to make sure our users are happy. And there are so many new ad solutions out there that you can test. That's why we are seeing the trend here that many developers, especially hyper-casual studios, are testing new solutions because they want to find a new solution that's going to drive them revenue in a more user-friendly way. So I actually have got a question for you here. As a hypercasual studio, are you testing any new formats at the moment? Are you thinking to? What kind of formats are you testing at the moment? What kind of results are you seeing? I would love to learn from your experience. Please share your experience in the chat, and I'll stop talking for 5 seconds for you to type. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. We did a survey earlier this year because we wanted to understand the trend in the monetization world from our publishers, and they shared with us that they were so excited about in-play as a new format in 2021, followed by the old and popular rewarded and interstitial there. Well, I'm not surprised about that. And do you know which genre says that they're most excited in play? It is Hypercasual Studios. So from these two questions, we see the trend here. So Hypercasual Studios are testing new formats, and they are most excited about in-play. For us, it just it's music in the ears. So we talk about in-play a lot in the past, like 5 minutes or so. What is in-play? When we ask the question, many people would just say, "Oh, it's just another banner in game, another video in game," but it's actually more than that. With our in-play technology, we are actually bringing the ads that you see from the real world, from Times Square, from the bus stop that you see into your game scene. So you can see on the screen here, so there's a billboard within a football stadium in the game scene, but that's a real ad there. So that's what in play is. That's what the concept is. And here at Admix, we're also working with a lot of amazing games from different verticals. It's probably straightforward to think that, in play is for racing titles, for sports titles, because there's already existing billboards within the games. But it's actually for all the verticals. For example, we are working with a lot of idle games as well, and we are working with more and more hyper-casual studios. It's just such an exciting time for in-play, and I would like to show you a clip of our top games with in-play ads here. As you can see, those in-play ads within the game scenes are immersive, and then they do fit in different verticals of games. So hopefully that gives you a better idea as how in-play is. In the same survey, we asked our publishers how long they have been using in-play ads. They told us at the time, around January time, it was less than 3 months. That's why we know in-play still a new-ish format, but it has been picked up by developers. That's why it's such an exciting space for all of us. So now you've got a better idea of how in-play is, and you're probably inspired already, thinking, actually I can do this and that in your games. So I'm gonna tell you the reason why it is for your games here. Reason number one is they are player friendly. As you can see on the screen here, is a game called Pencil Rush 3D from Gizmod, who is one of our top publishers here. The billboards on the sides of the run, they are just beautifully displayed there. They are immersive, they are non-intrusive, they are not forced, they are not like videos. You are required to stop playing your game to watch a video for 30 seconds. They are not pop-up, they are not at the bottom of the screen. Your users don't need to do anything. The only thing that your players need to do is play the game. And we also ask our publishers in the survey to ask their players what they think about this format. And over a third of them actually tell us that their users do not just like these formats, they actually love them. So you don't have to believe me here. It's not from me, it's from the players who tell our publishers, and it's from our publishers. So if it's from them, that must be true, right? Here I've got a very interesting case study to share with you. Neon Play is one of our top publishers. When they went live with in-play ads, they did a test. They split their users into 3 groups. So there's a control group. There is a group that sees 5 in-play ads a day, and the other group sees 10 in-play ads a day. Within 30 days, Neon Play displayed over 1 million new ads to the same user base. And they see no difference between the 3 groups in terms of retention rate. So it's just amazing to see the potential of in-play ads. You can display 1 million more ads to the same user base of users, and then you still maintain 100% of the retention rate. I think the potential here for you as a hyper-casual games is just no limit. There's no ceiling for you. Imagine if you have 2 or 4 in-play placements within one level, and that can be 10 additional ads per user within 1 minute, and it's just amazing to think about the potential here. And reason number 2 for why in-play is a great fit for your hyper-casual games is in-play maximizes the playtime. The reason is because in-play ads don't take any gameplay time away from your users. It takes 0% of the playtime away from your users because they are natively implemented within your game scene. So what if you can give 20% or even 30% of the playtime back to your users? That sounds amazing, right? And do you know on average, what's the average session time per user? I'll tell you in the next slide here. It's 4.3 minutes. So if your players watch 1 video ad, then that's 10% of the gameplay time taken away from them. But with in-play, it's 0, even you display 100 ads within the 4.3 minute session. What we also learn from our hyper-casual developer publishers as well, they've shared with us one of the challenges they see for their games is sometimes their players just would leave a review saying that, oh, there's too many ads, I can't actually play the game. And that's what we learn from the players, that they don't hate ads. They understand the game is free and developers have to make money. They just don't like being bombarded by a lot of ads. So that's why in-play is working so well for Hypercasual studios. You can adjust the weight of video ads and then implement some in-play ads there. So you can give some playtime back to your users. Then you're gonna have happier users who are gonna leave better reviews on the stores. Then you'll get better ratings. With better ratings, it's easier for you to leverage your ASO strategies. Then you get more organic installs. From those organic installs, you have more users to monetize. So for me, it looks like a very positive circle here to use in-play ads. Reason number 3. So those in-play placements, like you see another examples here on the screen, they are non-clickable. That means they are iOS 14 resistant. Most of the ads that we see in those placements are brand awareness. I heard a very interesting statement the other day from Sophia, who's the head of admin from Social Point. She shared at a webinar last week, say that gaming developers are all dreaming of brand ads. So here you go. With in-play ads, you can get more brand ads in your games. And we are working with a lot of premium advertisers as well. We have ex-Google people and ex-Spotify people on our demand team. They're speaking to agencies internationally, and with over 2.8 billion gaming players nowadays, we do get a lot of interest and tractions from brands as well. It's just such an amazing feeling for me personally, because in the past 8 years, in my 8-year career time in mobile advertising, I've always been selling, because I was on the UA demand side. I was always selling gaming inventory to brands, and there was less traction and interest from brands at the time. And now in 2021, I feel like this is the best year for gaming inventory right now, because I do see a lot of interest from brands, and it's just such an amazing feeling. I feel like the bridge between brand advertisers and gaming developers is built there. And you probably would think about, oh, it sounds great. In-play is user-friendly, non-clickable, iOS 14 resistant. Is it difficult to implement? The answer is no. It takes no code to implement, not even 1 or 2, literally 0 code. So how do you do it? We have a very lightweight plugin. You simply install the plugin into your Unity project. Then it's literally just drag and drop to create a new placement. It's that easy. You can go live in 30 minutes with one in-play ad. I think we still have the record here. We spoke to a developer on Monday. They started the implementation that afternoon, and then they actually went live the next day. It was that easy. So most importantly, what's so good about in-play for Hypercasual Studio is it actually drives your revenue. We covered at the beginning of this session, because of iOS 14 here, we have to show more ads to users, but then we don't want to upset our users. So a lot of developers are testing new formats, but then they are not sure if the new formats are actually driving them revenue. Here with in-play, why is it so good for Hypercasual Studios is it is actually driving you revenue, and it's user friendly, so you don't have to worry about it's going to impact your retention rate. So in the same survey, our publishers actually shared with us that in-play is now top of their revenue drivers. And one of the main reasons that they are using in-play right now is in-play can drive additional revenue. So it's proven that this new format is not just user-friendly, but also drive revenue. So that basically it's like a no-brainer for Hypercasual Studios to test in the post-IDFA world. And if you still have reservations if in-play revenue is sustainable, I've got an amazing case study to share with you here. We've been working with Wolves Interactive for over a year now. They started from one title, testing in-play ads. They saw additional revenue very quickly, and then they see strong revenue growth month over month. So now they've rolled out in-play into all of their racing titles. So it's proven that in-play revenue is sustainable. And for Wolves Interactive, it's very important that this format is iOS 14 resistant. So before Apple announced the day of iOS 14.5 a release date, they actually felt less daunting about what's coming on the iOS side. We've shared quite a few slides of our first edition in-play survey in this session. If you are interested to read a bit more about the survey, you can simply go to our website to download your version there, or you can reach out to me. I'll share a copy with you. Some key takeaways here. So why we think that in-play is the next wave of ad monetization for hypercasual games. It drives you extra revenue to compensate for the revenue loss in the post-IDFA world. It gives you brand demand. We have a lot of premium advertisers. They are non-clickable, iOS 14 resistant, very user-friendly, and it takes no time to implement. You can go live probably in 30 minutes. So we would love for you to join us in this in-play journey. So I would like to summarize with a question here. I ask you a question at the beginning of the session. What ad formats are you testing right now? The experience, results, etc. I would like to ask you a relevant question here. what is the add new format that you are planning to test next? If you are planning to test in play, which I hope so after the session, feel free to speak to us. We can brainstorm about the placements together. If you want to know revenue forecast, you can reach out to us. If you want to see any mockups, we are here as well. So thank you for your time today. It's such a huge honor to be here to share this exciting in-play format with you. I hope it's been informative for you. If you have any questions, anything you want to know more about, or you want to share any experience of in-play, or even just to connect, please feel free to write to me to my email here. It's chloe.cave@admix.in. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Join us and come in play.